I don't care what you take from this video. I don't care where you stopped it at. I don't care where you start cussing me out and saying this guy has no idea what he's talking about. I don't care. I want you to listen to this, okay? This right here is the best investment advice I've ever received, that I've heard everywhere. I've tried myself and it worked. Index funds are that YouTube producer that as soon as they drop a video, you get your notifications, you go and listen to that beat because he got some heat. Index funds are that engineer that you love working with because it's usually 1 to 2 takes and they know how to mix your vocals perfect. Index funds are that one fan that no matter what you post or what you say on social media, they always write a genuine comment because they love you. Index funds are my best friend. Index funds are my main bitch.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond.
Because index funds allows me to diversify my money and invest in a whole bunch of stuff for a very cheap price. We got the S&P 500, we got NASDAQ, we got Dow Jones. There are index funds that follow each and every single one. So you ain't gotta go through and buy all 500 stocks in the S&P 500. You can just invest in the S&P 500 index fund, get 1 share of that, and get a piece of all 500 stocks, or something close to it. So look at this like, instead of sending your video to each of your fans on Instagram via DM, you just post it to your feed and they all can see it. You can buy index funds on the stock market through what's called an ETF. That is basically the new age term for an index fund, an ETF, which is an exchange traded fund. Remember earlier we was talking about QQQ, Investco, and the whole NCAA tournament commercial? That's what QQQ is. It is an ETF that follows the NASDAQ 100. So if you want to invest in the NASDAQ 100 without buying all 100 stocks, you can go buy the QQQ ETF and that'll get you inside of there. I am not invested in QQQ, but I am invested in a couple of ETFs and I'm gonna give you my favorite one. Remember we talked about shitball companies earlier? I invested in GoPro, they were a shitball company. This is how you invest in non-shitball companies. You look at these companies that have went up in value over time and have consistently paid their investors a return that's above what? Our magic number is what? 2.1%. Eventually, we're gonna do a video on how to read stock market charts. If y'all want me to do that video, write inside the comments and I'll get that in the chamber for you. My favorite ETF at the moment doesn't give you a 2.1% return. It doesn't give you a 4 or 5% return. It doesn't give you an 8, 9% return. You know, this ETF, historically speaking, with the data, since it's been around, this is facts, so put it up on the screen for you, has given a 10.99% return. So that's well above our 2.1. What is the name of this ETF? SPHD. SP because it follows the S&P 500. H because I don't know what the hell that means. But D stands for a lot of stuff y'all thinking that you probably shouldn't be thinking right now. It stands for dividend. What the hell is a dividend? A dividend is a royalty payment that you get just for owning a stock. A dividend is a royalty payment you get just for owning a stock. So you know how your music on Spotify, when it gets streams, you get royalties? The exact same thing can happen if you just own stock. SPHD takes 51 companies inside of the S&P 500 that pays dividend. You invest in SPHD, and every single month, SPHD pays a dividend to you. I love SPHD. As of June 6, 2022, SPHD was paying a dividend of $1.60 for every single share that was owned. You take $1.60 divided by 12 months, because these are annual dividends, that's how they do it, and you get paid 14 cents a month. 14 cents a month, a royalty, just for owning 1 share of this stock. Inside of my daughter's portfolio, I really push anything that has a dividend because there's a term I'm gonna talk about later that really makes everything go up and go crazy. It's how I've been able to protect my money and hers. The great thing about the 2 plugs I've had, Robinhood and Fidelity, inside of the apps you can turn on drip. Now drip, I ain't talking about this drip or that drip or that drip or this drip or his drip or her drip. We ain't talking about that, okay? Get all that ignorant shit out your head. We talking about for real drip. We talking about dividend, reinvestment, program. What the hell does that mean? That means that every single month when SPHD pays us our dividend, our royalty payment of 14 cents, I have it turned on where my daughter's account automatically takes that 14 cents and buys more shares of SPHD. Remember I told you to plug Robinhood? He lets you buy a little bit of this. I didn't have to buy your whole record label stock for $100. I could just buy it for $20. And now everybody else start copying Robinhood because you know they dick riders. And now you can do that with anything. So if you turn on drip, those dividends go right back in. And now that just starts building up like crazy because the next month we own more of SPHD, so our dividend is going to be higher. Therefore, it buys more SPHD. And our dividend is going to be higher and it buys more SPHD, and it just keeps going. This is how generational wealth accrues. This is how you protect your money. This is how you see these people that sell insurance or, they own a car wash, but they got an $800,000 house and, they got the Tesla Model X because their granddaddy's been knowing this and they passed this down. This is the greatest concept that most rappers don't know, but now we all do because y'all watch this video. This is called compound interest. Albert Einstein's big head ass is considered one of the smartest people that ever walked this. He was really dope in quantum physics and relativity and some other shit. I don't know, the real nerdy, like, if you ever been to college, you on a college campus, there's certain labs that you just never, ever gonna go in. I don't care what class you take. That's where his ass was, back there. And even he had this to say about compound interest. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. Compound interest can be the greatest accumulator of wealth that you have ever seen. And compound interest can be the greatest accumulator of debt that you have ever seen. It's an oscillation. It works both ways. Everybody who's watched this video, you've been through what I'm about to talk about. There's been someone in your life that has told you they can double your money. You probably got somebody that texted you today or called you and told you they can double your money. Pretty sure I checked my emails or my DMs. There is someone in there saying, Dorian, I can double your money. I'm gonna give you something where you can always make sure that nobody gets over on you because you know how long it would actually take for them to double your money, and that's called the rule of 72. We back at the record label. We on tour. It's now time to sell shirts. If you buy $1,000 worth of merch, how long would it take to turn that $1,000 into $2,000? I'm asking, how long? Some of y'all say, I can do that today. What proof do you have of that? You got proof of sales? How do we know that? Because a lot of stuff got to factor into that. What does it say on the shirt? How does the shirt feel? How many people are at the show that you're selling the shirt? How did y'all present the table? How did you market the shirt? How many Instagram followers you got? How many YouTube subscribers you got? Do people even like you? Do people even like you with clothes on? Do people even like your brand? Gas prices, food prices, supply chain. Did they print the shirt right? It's all types of shit you got to think about. So ain't no telling how long it would take for you to double your money, to take it from $1,000 to $2,000. It's too many variables. What if you always had that info to know that regardless of the variables, I know how long it's going to take? This is the rule of 72. SPHD gives us a 10% return. Every year, 10%. You take the number 72 and you divide it, which for SPHD is 10%. By that number, 72 divided by 10 equals 7.2. And those are years. For us to double our money inside of SPHD, it's going to take us 7.2 years. That's the rule of 72. If somebody says they're going to offer you a 5% return on your money, it's going to take us 14 plus years. If somebody says they're going to offer a 36% return on your money, it's going to take 2 years. If somebody says they're going to offer you a 72% return on your money, and I'm telling y'all right now, 20%, 25, 30, 40, 50, 70, 1,000. I've seen stuff online with crypto, 1,000,000% returns. Gas. Do not listen to these people. But even if someone offers you a 72% return on your money, that's still going to take you a year to double your money. There's no such thing as quick flips in here. You got to understand that. So if anybody says they can double your money, if they can't give you the rate of return, why are you even talking to them? Because you can put that money in the stock market and you know exactly how long it's going to take. You can't do that with garage sales. You can't do that with drop shipping. You can't do that with slanging CDs or whatever it is y'all be selling t-shirts. You can't do that. Those are quick flips. Those are hustles. When you start doing this long-term investing, you start understanding this. And the rule of 72 is how compound interest accumulates, and that's how generational wealth happens.
Group82University.com.